What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another YouTube video. My name is Mike. I'm full-time media seller. I go around all your thrift stores. I scan the books, CDs, DVDs. I do personal buys off Craigslist, Facebook, Nextdoor, all that kind of fun stuff. I also help people, kind of build media businesses. We have a YouTube membership. Link's always in the description. We got a weekly Zoom call, a members Discord, and the full-length podcast episodes. But today is Monday, so we have another one of our kind of, opinionated, kind of just me blabbering along here video. But these usually, I enjoy these videos the most because I kind of can just speak my mind, just what I'm experiencing, and maybe give tips to other people to kind of figure out the same thing. So today's topic's a pretty broad one, but we're going to approach it in different directions. It's about having a plan. So having a plan, I mean, that's so broad. Like, what are you talking about? Well, we'll get right on in it. So let's get right on into it. Yeah, I just ruined that one. Let's go. Before we get right on into it, as you know, as you can see here, I am a huge Halloween Michael Myers fan. Growing up, he scared the crap out of me. I love the movies. I was excited for the new movies. They came out. Jamie Lee Curtis is awesome. She's, plays a great role. But the new one just came out, Halloween Ends. How it all ends, I got to give my opinion so it's out there when I look back, 80 years from now when I'm still doing YouTube. I hated it. I did not like it at all, unfortunately. I think it's one of the worst films in the whole series. So now that I got that off my chest, let's get into having a plan, right? Because clearly the directors of that last movie didn't have a plan or, direction for what they wanted to do. So we're just going to shoot out a few things here on why you need a plan, right? So you're selling media. You could be selling anything, actually. So you're buying in bulk, right? So you're going to get stuff that isn't worth it, right? So what's your plan? You're just going to throw that stuff out? No, you're going to need a plan, right? Whether you're doing eBay, Amazon, there's going to be things that aren't worth it on either platform. So how can you combat that? So you can do flea markets, you can do antique malls, you can do buyback companies, at least for media, at least you get something back out of it. But it's super, super important that you do not get overwhelmed by product that has a zero value, right? So you can't just let it keep piling up. You see, like, I'm kind of a mess back here because I'm going through a bulk buy right now. So got all my empty boxes. My trunk over there is full with stuff that isn't worth anything, whether it's buyback company or just, items that are destroyed, right? Because you'll always find things that are just completely destroyed, books ripped, bindings missing. So that stuff will go into a donation or get recycled. So that's a plan for that. Now let's talk about having a plan for basically growing your business, right? So right now, where you're at, maybe you're doing 5 thrift stores a week. What's your plan to kind of take it to the next level? You can't just keep, shooting from the hip here if you want to have a serious business. I know it might be working, right? You might be going to a few thrift stores here and there and you're being successful. But at the end of the day, you need to have a plan to how you're going to take it to the next level. You can't just always, oh, I guess I'm going to do this today. Oh, I guess I'm going to do that today. What happens when you don't have a plan is you wind up overwhelmed and shutting down. I mean, that's just human nature, right? If I decided to, get in a truckload of books never before in my life and I have no kind of plan for anything I'm going to do with it, and it shows up and they drop off, 12 pallets of books or mixed media, what are you going to do, right? You're going to shut down. You're going to be like, this is too much. I quit. I give up. It's important to make your life easy as a reseller. And the only way to do that is basically to have a plan for everything. I know it sounds stupid, right? So like, why do you got to have a plan for, what you do with things that aren't worth it? You just throw it out. Well, how many bags of trash you putting out a week? For me, they limit it, right? So I can only put out 4 bags a week. So if my plan is to throw out, 4 bags of books a week, what about my normal trash? First off, the bags are going to be so heavy, they're probably not going to take them to begin with. You have to think things through. And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people just jump right in without, oh, this is a great deal, I can't pass it up. Well, honestly, if it's a lot of merchandise, no matter what you're selling, and you don't have like some kind of written down plan or you've done it before, maybe it's not a good deal because you're just going to be like, hey, I got all this stuff. What am I going to do now? And that's what happens. And that's why a lot of people quit. Death piles pile up. I'll tell you what, every single person out there watching this that's reselling has a plan to source. And you better believe no matter what happens, they're going to source. But that's the only plan a lot of people have is, oh, I'm going to go sourcing this week. I'm going to go garage sailing this week. You don't have a plan for anything else. You don't have a plan when you're going to list the stuff, how many you're going to list. You don't have a plan what you're going to do for things that aren't worth it, things that aren't selling. You don't have a plan when you're going to pack, when you're going to ship, when you're going to prep. There is so much more than just sourcing, and that, I guess that's kind of the biggest thing, right? We all have a plan to source, but we don't have a plan for anything else in the business. when really sourcing is, you know, it's important, but if you don't have a plan on the back end, there's no point in sourcing, because you're just going to be like, oh, you're just going to have a bunch of stuff laying around your house that's never going to get listed. And then you're going to be commenting saying that, you know, everything sucks. This business idea sucks. I can't make any money. It's because you don't have a plan, right? It kind of goes along with scheduling. You got to make sure you have time allotted for everything, right? I always say it all the time. You can't do everything every day, right? So that's why I kind of approach it as, this day I'm going to source, this day I'm going to prep, this day I'm going to pack, this day I'm going to ship. That will make your life so much easier. And scheduling is planning. They're basically, you know, they go hand in hand. It's basically the same word. And I want everybody to get in the mindset of being more efficient with your time and your business, and especially your business, because we make it into so much more than it actually is. We love dragging things out, and it doesn't have to be that way, right? If you have a plan, like we just literally got through this whole library pickup yesterday, and I'm just looking up stuff for eBay now. That's stuff that's I got a list on eBay. So the plan was get through it all, right? What would we do? Deb decided to help me out yesterday. I flip all the books that have barcodes. She scans them for Amazon. It goes in a bag for Second and Charles if it's not worth it on Amazon. Anything without a barcode goes in the eBay pile. There's a plan for every single piece of merchandise that comes into this storage unit, and that should be the same way for you, whether you're buying in bulk or whether you're going to the thrift store, right? What's your plan? You walk into a thrift store and you see this huge item, right? We'll say like a VCR or something, or like one of those CRTs, the closed circuit televisions, and it's for like $2 and it's selling on eBay for $60, and you're like, wow, I'm gonna make $50 on this, but you don't have a plan how you're gonna ship that item, so you just buy it and take it home. You get home, you list it, you're like, wait a minute, how am I gonna ship this, right? So now you're like, your time is gone, right? Because you didn't plan to ship this, so you got to go find a box. Then you're going to figure out how to pack it correctly so the item doesn't break. It's that kind of thought process. That's why they say, you know, niching down is the best, right? Because, you know, we're always shipping. You know, when I get an order merchant fulfilled on Amazon, I'm always shipping the CD or DVD in one of these. That just takes anything away from it, right? I can train a chimpanzee to ship my stuff, because it's always this bubble mailer. So all you got to do is throw it in a bubble mailer. No thinking needed. You have to simplify things. And by having a plan and niching down, it makes everything so much easier. Sure, it's awesome being an everything seller, and you know, you can have a whole business doing that if you want it, but you have to realize the headaches that come with that. And if you don't have a plan when you buy something, what are you gonna do? It's just never gonna get listed, and you might as well just throw out your money, right? So I want people to start thinking about like plans overall, plans to grow, like things for me, right? I have a few hundred dud DVDs that I'm working on a plan to figure out how to get rid of, whether that's, you know, looking into an antique mall, partnering up with maybe like a pawn shop or something, just to get money out of it, right? But there has to be a process. I can't just let these sit here and just let them build, right? I could just fill up my whole unit with dud DVDs and never take any kind of initiative to have a plan to figure out how to get rid of them. I want you to be thinking, you know, a few steps ahead of today, right? Just because you're getting a big buy doesn't mean that, you know, you're going to be successful with it. Sure, you know, there's always going to be good stuff, right? You're always going to find good things. It's having a plan to get rid of the junk, no matter what that is, whether that's stuff that's been sitting in your eBay store for 10 years and you just let it sit there because it's already listed and it's on a shelf somewhere. You need to have a plan. You got to keep up with your business. You got to keep up with your inventory. That's a huge thing, especially on eBay and Amazon, right? eBay, you're storing it yourself. How many items do people have listed on eBay for over a year that are never going to sell? That you never going back in to look at the price to see if you need to lower your price. And the same with Amazon, right? Amazon, they charge you more fees when things sit there for longer, you know, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. You start getting hit with more fees. And if you don't have a plan, right, you send in 1,000 items to Amazon and 500 hit long-term storage, or you forget to change the setting where they automatically send your stuff back, all of a sudden you have 500 items coming back to you and you have no plan what to do with them. You're gonna send them back in? That's not a good plan. So I just wanted to make this video to kind of get it out there, right? You know, Michael Myers had a plan, right? He wanted to kill Laurie Strode, right? He wanted Jamie Lee Curtis done, right? So his plan through like the 80 years he lived, basically, this last movie, he's like on a crutch, you know, they're pushing him around in a wheelchair. He had a plan, and he was focused on getting that plan done no matter what it takes, right? So somebody gets in the way, hey, this is my plan, you got to get out the way. If not, you know, then Mike will get you, and that's the end of the line, right? So you can even think about it in, like, you know, your favorite movie, your favorite character, right? There's always a plan, there's always an end game. There's always something going on to get you to that point where you want to be. So I appreciate y'all watching. You should plan to subscribe and like this video, even though probably most of you already are. But have a plan for your business. If you have a specific plan right now you're working towards, or you know, something weird that you're just trying to get out, or like maybe you have a secret way for me to get rid of my 3,000 DVD duds, you tell me that plan in the comment section below. So I'll see you guys in the next used book video. Bye bye.